Welcome back to the Elle-Sera podcast, and today's guest is Giselle Boxer. Now, Giselle has a really interesting company. I found this company on Instagram. I thought, she looks great. This is something I've been interested in for a while. Her company's called East Healing, and she's known as the AccuSeeds lady. So we're going to get into exactly what that is and the trials and tribulations she's met with along the way. Hello, Giselle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fab. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Thanks for coming on. So, followed your journey for a little bit, maybe probably the last 6 months-ish. And see your products are all around the internet, which is great. We've got very similar kind of audiences. We're very in alignment. So take me back to the beginning. I'm sure you didn't wake up as a little girl thinking, one day I want to do AccuSeeds. So how did it all happen?
So I guess the journey started when I was 26 years old and I started suffering from some really severe health issues. So prior to that, I was living in London, was super busy, had a great social life, was doing everything I wanted to do as a 25-year-old woman. And unfortunately, I was diagnosed with a condition called ME. So the kind of symptoms that I was experiencing were debilitating fatigue, muscle weakness, joint pain, digestive issues, regular headaches. The list kind of goes on in terms of like the symptoms I was experiencing. But that is, I guess, where it began. And I'm sure we'll go into a bit more about my health journey, but that is kind of what inspired me really to set up the brand, because something which really, really helped me with that condition was Chinese medicine.
So were you just like feeling all these things? Did you get diagnosed with ME?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then you searching around the internet for things that might help.
Yeah. So I would say I was quite unwell for about 2 years. Various different issues like IBS. Was extremely tired after exercise, or even just like a busy work week. I'd have to go to bed and didn't really go out much at the weekend. And yeah, I basically went to see a variety of different GPs because each GP that I went to told me a different thing or wouldn't give me a diagnosis. And I had a variety of blood tests as well, of which they all came back as what they would say is normal. So some doctors said to me that there's nothing wrong with me, that I'm depressed, that I need to take antidepressants. Other doctors said that I may have like a low blood sugar. And I think it was about the 10th GP that I saw. She said, "Oh, I think you might have ME. I'm going to refer you to the ME specialist at the hospital." And then once I had that appointment with her, I was officially diagnosed with ME.
And how do they diagnose you with ME? Are they doing, obviously you went through all these tests, and what were they checking for? Checking thyroid, hormones?
Thyroid, hormones.
Nutritional deficiencies?
Yeah.
All of the regular things that you would go to the GP with,
yeah. B12 levels, iron count. They wanted to see if I was celiac, if I had diabetes. But quite often ME is described as a condition which is one that's diagnosed when they exclude everything else.
Right.
But the symptoms are common, which are debilitating fatigue, muscle pain, joint pain. It's like that inability to, they call it post-exertion malaise, which means that anything you do, whether that's a shower, going for a walk, exercising, going out meeting friends, going to work, you then suffer from like extreme levels of low energy and have to stay in bed basically until you feel like you've got enough energy again to get up, shower, cook food, like simple things that you take for granted.
Yeah, it sounds awful. Bloody hell. So, okay, so you're searching around the internet for things to try and help your symptoms, I suppose. Because obviously you've been diagnosed at this point, but did they give you any like advice on what you could do, things to improve your lifestyle maybe? Or
no, unfortunately not. And that was one of the hardest things.
Yeah.
It was when I went to see the specialist at the hospital, I thought, okay, so this woman is a specialist and she's diagnosed me with this condition, but now she's told me that there's literally nothing that I can do, that I will probably never work again, that I will most likely not have children. And bizarrely, that I shouldn't put it on my, or I should put it on my CV, to kind of warn employers that I had the condition.
Why? So you could be unemployed as well on top of that. Do you know what I mean?
So it was horrific, to be honest, that experience. But luckily my mom is really into holistic alternative therapies. And I called her after, crying. I was absolutely distraught. And she said, right, come back home for a while. Let's speak to all of her friends who are nutritionists, naturopaths, homeopaths. She's a Reiki healer. I spoke to all of her contacts and made some of my own as well, and started to understand more about alternative ways to support the condition, as well as trawling the internet, Reddit threads, YouTube videos, the whole lot. Bought like so many books as well off Amazon about how to help the condition. So, yeah.
And somewhere along that journey, you came across acupuncture and that kind of therapy. So then did you go for actual acupuncture at that point?
Yeah. So I would say the first 6 months after I was diagnosed, it was mostly just focusing on dietary changes, supplementation, really just trying to calm my nervous system through like meditation, breath work, gentle stretching at home when I could. I tried to keep moving as much as I could, because I'd read that if you do just stay in bed the whole time, your body then starts to deteriorate even more. So I tried to do like short walks, and it was crazy because I had to time it on my phone. Today I'm going to walk for 1 minute and then get back in bed. And then the next day I'm going to walk for 1.5 minutes and then get back in bed. And you like have to, you have to like gradually increase the activity to see how your body reacts. So yeah, it was about 6 months of doing all of those things. And I did see some really great improvements. But then once I met the Chinese doctor who lives in Sheffield, where I live now, and she started acupuncture, she gave me Chinese herbal remedies, and used ear seeds on me. That was when I saw like such an improvement in the condition. And it was really, really quick as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is actually amazing. So talk me through what actually ear seeds are. Because I've seen them on the internet and stuff, but actually I'm not au fait with actually how they work.
Yeah. So basically they're a needle-free form of acupuncture. A lot of people know about reflexology on the feet, but not many people know that the ear works in a really similar way in Chinese medicine. So basically they are tiny gold beads or silver beads or crystal or pearl that we've started selling recently. And they stick onto different points of the ear that correspond to different parts of the body. So what they do is there's kind of two sides of things. So from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, they use acupressure to move energy around the body. And from a Western medical perspective, our ear actually has so many different nerve endings running through it, like the vagus nerve, which is, I guess, quite a buzzword at the moment.
Yeah, from like head to gut.
Yeah. And you can actually stimulate the vagus nerve through different points on the ear. So by doing so, you can activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of your nervous system that you want to be activated more than the sympathetic. And you can, basically make your nervous system work in a better way. So it helps with your sleep, it helps with your digestion, makes you feel more relaxed as well.
It's so interesting. Okay, so you had the treatment and you were like convinced and you saw huge improvements in yourself. And then, I don't know, is there a cure for ME or?
No. So, I mean.
Do you still suffer now?
No.
With like bouts of it?
No. So I'm like fully recovered from the condition. Many Western doctors will say there is no cure. There is no that basically people can't recover from it. However, many alternative practitioners believe that you can. And I'm one of the lucky ones, I guess, because I went down that alternative route. And something which I really held on to was like the hope that I was going to recover and the belief as well. And I think it's difficult when you're diagnosed with the condition and you only listen to the Western medical perspective, which is that you will never recover. A lot of people then accept that. Whereas because I spoke to so many different alternative practitioners and really did my own research into what I can do to help support me, I'm lucky that I fully recovered and I haven't relapsed or anything.
So when did you make the decision to think, okay, I'm going to actually use what I know and my personal experience and turn it into a positive and a business? When was that moment?
So once I'd fully recovered from ME, I fell pregnant about a month later. And
that's amazing, considering someone was telling you you'll never be able to have children.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it was whilst I was on maternity leave. So I used to work in advertising and went on maternity leave and wasn't particularly sure whether I wanted to go back into that world. I was working on a lot of accounts, like doing the social media advertising for cars, for example,
right? Which
to me at the time wasn't something I was particularly passionate about. I couldn't even drive myself at that time. And it was, during maternity leave that I thought, maybe there's something here with in the wellness space. I'm so knowledgeable now. I've got so much passion for it. There must be something else that I can do. So yeah, I launched the business when my first daughter was 9 months old.
That must have been a nail biter. I know myself from being pregnant and going through the a hard startup era and being pregnant and having a baby. It is no joke. No joke. It's another level. It's just another level of difficulty. You feel like your brain's not your own and you're missing meetings and you're missing everything. And I was just so angry a lot of the time. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, my moods were so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is no joke. So that is incredible that you launched the business when she was 9 months old. So you must have been doing pardon the pun, the seeds of the business. You know what I mean? You must have been doing the research, the picking the packaging, how it's going to look, doing your wellness guides, your bits of literature, your website, while, you've got a little baby.
Yeah.
Which is hard. Did you have anyone helping you?
No. So I was the only person in the business up until Dragon's Den, which we'll obviously speak about later. But yeah, to be honest, because I'm quite a busy person and I'm quite determined and I like a lot going on. I did find those first few months after I had my daughter quite difficult because I went from having my own life and my own career and, hanging out with friends and exercising when I wanted to and cooking beautiful, healthy meals all the time to having to obviously it's an incredible gift, right? To have children, but it was just such a difference in lifestyle. And in my spare time with my daughter, I was looking up sleep routines and weaning charts and all this kind of stuff. And it just wasn't stimulating my brain in the way that, No,
I know. Yeah, I get it. Completely get it. Okay. So you've sourced a supplier for everything. And then this is often what I ask founders when they're sat here. So how much money did you start the business with?
£5,000
of
personal savings, yeah.
And that doesn't go far. It sounds like a lot. It's like, to some people it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but not when it gets swallowed up straight away.
Yeah.
Because you need stock. And how many did you put in an order for in the beginning?
Oh gosh, good question. Feels like a lifetime ago.
Was this
now.
like a toe dipping exercise? Like, well, we'll just buy this many and see how it goes.
I think it was 500 units.
Yeah.
But I did everything myself in the early days.
You've got to.
Yeah.
You haven't got any capital to do anything. You know, it's mental. You're obviously from the north, and I've sat here and said this as well with loads of founders, and especially northern founders. I'm like, it's not even in our vocabulary to even think I'm going to launch a business with someone else's money, like go and pitch for money before you even begin the business. We just would never do that. Whereas I know loads of brands in London who are like, well, we've done a 500 grand raise to start the business. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? You're already giving
I didn't
equity.
even know that was an option.
Exactly. Same. I didn't know it was an option. It's not an option for us up here in the north. I'll tell you that. Unless you're fucking hitting on some unbelievable piece of AI tech or something, and then everyone wants to give you money. But so you started the business, and fair play to you. You know what I mean? With £5,000, and I always think, as a new mum as well, you become more risk averse. My anxiety levels were like so through the roof as soon as I never suffered with anxiety until I had a baby. But I suppose that's the right way to be, because that's how the human race has survived. And mother's anxiety of, I need to look after that child. You know what I mean? If I was in a restaurant, I couldn't even have it not right next to me. Her pram had to be absolutely next to me. I couldn't even have it on the other side of the table. I would have panicked. Do you know what I mean? It was just, I was anxious and all these things I'd never really felt before. So it is, and to think I'm going to start a business in that time, it can be daunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of enjoyed having something to focus on.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah. And kind of getting my teeth into something creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because of my background in social media advertising, it was quite nice to use those skills that I'd built up over the years.
Building up a nice, fresh Instagram page. I'd love to do that again. From like 0 to 1,000 is actually a lovely journey.
Yeah.
There's no pressure on you. There's no nothing. Now it's all engagement, this, that, the other, save shares. And I'm just like, oh, when did it get so difficult? Because I used to just throw up what I wanted when I wanted.
Yeah.
So it can be kind of nice. So, and what was your route to market? Did you think about marketing or anything like that?
Yeah. So the growth for the first 2 years, basically until I went to pitch into the Dragons, it was all organic social media, which is incredible, really, because I come from a background of having to spend a lot of money on ads. So it was all organic socials. TikTok was a huge platform for us, and I think because the product is, so people would think it's new. It's not new, it's an ancient tool, but it looks, no one's ever heard of it, right?
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it until
like,
you've come along.
This is so bizarre. Like, how can this actually help with your mental and physical well-being? So it kind of hooks people in. And I had like quite a lot of videos go viral on TikTok, and you'd just see the direct like translation to the orders that were coming through when a video went viral. So it was exciting, like super exciting. And I did all my own emails. And as I said, I didn't do any ads or anything back then. So, yeah.
And okay, so now you get a call from the Den, or you apply for the Den, whatever way it works. I know a few people reach out to me from the Den, and I just think, no, I'm not doing it. But I'd be too nervous, so fair play to you. Do you know what I mean? I'd just be way too nervous to go in there. So how was the experience?
Honestly, it wasn't that nerve-wracking. And I've spoken about this on another podcast, but I'm a very spiritual person. I really believe in manifestation and visualization. So I did a lot of that before I went into pitch. And
was there like a dragon that you wanted before you went in?
Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's like marketing genius. Yeah.
Yeah. And because of his interests in health and well-being as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was very set on, he's my guy. I'm going to get him as an investor today.
And how long were you in the Den for? Because I know it's like 5 minutes on telly, but it's hours for you.
Yeah. So I was in there, I think it was an hour and a half. Some founders are in there for up to 3 hours. So the day that I went to film in Manchester, they told me to get there for midday. And I thought I'd go in to pitch at maybe 1, 2 o'clock. I went in to pitch at 8 p.m.
Oh my God. Imagine just how stressed you would be at that point. Just thinking about all your figures all day.
Yeah. And that was it. I was sat in a dressing room. There were no windows. And the only thing I could do was meditate. It sounds crazy woo-woo, but that was honestly the only thing I could do.
At least you've got the skills to do that. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Because I felt like the more I went over it and the more I tried to practice out loud, the more I was messing up.
Right.
And I was just like, I'm going to really just ruin this if I carry on. So let's just sit, let's chill out, meditate. And yeah, got a few like crazy FaceTimes from my husband. My daughter was having meltdowns and I was like, I don't need this energy right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I'd be so nervous. So fair play to you if you're doing that. You know what I mean? Okay, so you go in the den. It's going well. Any like tricky questions that you came unstuck on that maybe didn't get shown?
Honestly, no. I couldn't believe the experience that I had, to be honest. Because you go on to the show thinking, well, they're allowed to ask you any question they want.
Yeah.
They're allowed to show anything that happens. So it is a big risk because you just never know what's going to happen. But the pitch was 2 minutes and then your question then for, as I said, it can be up to 3 hours. So yeah, they delve into absolutely every aspect of your business. And obviously with the edited version, it's 15 minutes. So people that watch it are like, oh, but why didn't they ask you this? And why didn't they ask you this? And what was this? Yeah. And it's like, you don't know actually what happened behind the scenes. But I was super lucky that they all loved the product and they all really bought into me as an entrepreneur. And yeah, there weren't any like super tricky questions. I was quite prepped and prepared and I had my ear seeds on for anxiety. And I did a lot of meditation, visualization. So I felt like I was like ready.
And you got your guy.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well done you. And how much investment did you get?
So he invested £50,000 for 12.5%.
Nice.
Business.
And I suppose the question everybody wants to know is like, you know, have you got Bartlett on speed dial? You know, is he there for you? Or is it kind of like, there's 50 grand, go for it?
No, so we do chat quite regularly on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
We do voice note. The first like message that I got from him, I was like, is this actually happening? Or like when I left the den when he said he was going to invest and he started following me on Instagram, I was like, what is going on here? This is nuts.
Wow.
But honestly, he's just a really, really nice, down-to-earth guy. And he's really supportive. And any questions that I have about anything, he's more than happy to help. And his team in London are really good as well. With like strategy and marketing support as well. And probably the best thing that came out of it were the people that he introduced me to. So he's got an incredible network.
Yeah.
And the Meta ads agency that he works with, the fulfillment partners, the customer service teams, all those people he introduced me to, and now they're part of my wider team and they're all amazing. So.
Oh, well, that's good because I always hear horror stories about all those three things.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know who you're using fulfillment. We have actually, I love our fulfillment guys. Actually, we use ShipBob. Shout out to ShipBob. Love them. They are really, really great. They do hold our hands. That's great. But I've had some terrible agencies.
Oh,
you know, like Meta ads agencies, terrible ones. Like,
and I've had some really bad fulfillment agencies as well. And it's terrifying as a small business when you've scaled enough to then have your stock fulfilled in a warehouse. It's like, oh my God, it's not at home anymore and I can't see what they're doing. And what if they send it out incorrectly? And
that happened to us over Christmas.
Yeah. And it's terrifying. And what happened as well post Dragon's Den was when I went to meet with Stephen before the episode went live, he said, I'd probably buy like between 10 and 20,000 units because that's probably what will sell.
Yeah. Off the back of the publicity for the episode.
Of the showing. And I was like, oh my God, really? Like that's so much. Yeah. Wow. And I spent the majority of our cash on stock. And that was a huge risk in itself, right? But we sold 30,000 units in 4 weeks after the episode aired.
That's amazing.
So I bought 20,000 units and then 10,000 were pre-orders. So people bought 10,000 products were purchased without them receiving it for 4 weeks.
That's brilliant.
Which is bonkers.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
It's always my biggest fear, like going out of stock.
Yeah.
It's our biggest bill. Inventory is our biggest bill, but I like to have like a year's worth of stock in hand.
Yeah.
Because I never want that day where we're out of stock. Do you know what I mean? If someone's hot, they need to get them.
Yeah.
Then and there, you know what I mean?
And that's what we've done since we've got so much stock now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's right too, because you never know when that little bit of organic publicity might just kick off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That, I don't know, Jennifer Aniston decides to buy it and just wears it and then posts about it. Well, you know, I mean, God, we'd live in hope that something like that would happen. But you never know, you know what I mean? You never know where these things come from. And you're like, you cannot prepare for these things.
No.
So it seems to be going really, really well for you. So obviously I'm going to get it. If anybody's watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see me go through the packaging. If you're just listening, I will describe it. So it's Acu Seeds by East Healing, and it comes in this lovely box which has got a mirror inside, which is fab. And then all these, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Are these different styles?
Yeah, so what you're holding is the complete collection. So it's our full collection of ear seeds. So there's the gold and the silver plated. And then there's gold crystal, silver crystal, and pearl. And they're all sourced from Swarovski. They
are amazing, aren't they? And then are these reusable or?
No, so they're not reusable.
Yeah.
They're one use only. Yeah.
Wow, okay. So once you've got the set, you, so you can, like, let's say I wanted to put 2 on in the morning and then I throw them away at night and then keep reusing, then get another pair.
No, so the complete collection comes with a couple of guides. So it's got the wellness guide in and the women's health guide, and that shows you the different maps for different health issues.
Right.
So for the digestion protocol, for example, you just use 3 seeds.
Yeah.
Whereas for immunity, I think there's 5 or 6. So yeah, it depends on which protocol you choose as to how many are put in the ear. But they last for 5 days and then you remove them. And then you can put on a new set on the other ear.
They're lovely. Very good. Libido, menstrual issues, weight loss. Fabulous, aren't they? And they look pretty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And actually, they're really trendy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody's having like multiple piercings now.
Yeah, lots of people are like, can I just wear them as like an aesthetic thing? I'm like, yeah, fine, but you will see the health benefits from them as well.
Well, that's the great thing about it. It actually looks really good. You know, you pretend you've got like a Traeger's piercing, but I don't want to do that. So, do you know what I mean? Oh, it looks brilliant. Yeah, I love the packaging. It's really nice and easy. Does that go through the Royal Mail's large letter network?
Not that one, but the ear seed kits, the gold and silver, the smaller versions they do.
That's the thing that D2C founders get wrong sometimes. Yeah. When we've got a box, obviously it's too chunky for that, but then our other packets are designed with that in mind as well, just because you want your customers to have it through the letterbox. It's just so much easier than signing for or people leave it in a bin and everything like that.
Yeah.
You probably get postal issues just like we do.
Oh, yeah.
Of like, it's probably one of our biggest issues actually.
Yeah, it's so stressful. Like knowing that you've sent a customer a product and the Royal Mail guy says it's been delivered and it hasn't.
I know. Don't even talk to me about Royal Mail.
All sorts of things going missing.
Yeah, it's just one of our daily battles. So the Den was obviously a hero, milestone, memorable moment forevermore in your life, up there with the birth of your daughter, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You've had some other incredible moments along the way as a business founder. So tell me about them.
So I reckon the first one was probably when Aloe Yoga reached out to me. So the business was only 6 months old at the time. And so ear seeding was a thing in the US before it came to the UK, which usually happens with wellness things. So in LA, they would often have an ear seeder at their events. So when they started coming over to the UK, they were looking for someone to do ear seeding, and I was one of the only brands that were doing it. So popped up number 1 in Google and got this message, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So they reached out and wanted to work with me at Wimbledon. So I did ear seeding on some tennis players, which was really, really cool. And then...
Any like tennis players you can tell us about?
Honestly, I'm really bad with like sports people. I have no idea. Even celebrities sometimes I'm like, I don't know who these people are.
Like Djokovic or what's the one who's like the bad boy of tennis? Nick Kyrgios.
Oh, honestly,
he's great.
I wouldn't have a clue. But yeah, I've worked with them now for quite a while on a variety of different things like store opening. So I've done ear seeding on a lot of influencers. But the most noticeable one was probably at London Fashion Week. So I did ear seeding over a 3-day period at Fashion Week in September. And I actually ear seeded 2 of the Beckham children. So that was, I mean, I knew who they were.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I know who you guys are. And they were honestly so lovely, so kind, so polite.
Did they do any like social media for you?
No.
Oh, that would have been really kind.
It would have been really kind. But they did reach out to me after and said how much they enjoyed it and that they want me to come and do it again.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
If you went to that beautiful house in the Cotswolds.
It would be, yeah. So still waiting for the date to be put in the diary there. But yeah, I did send them a variety of our other products. And so that's probably one of the most epic like moments.
Again, that's just you've done that organically by having a good website. You know what I mean? You come up top on Google and it's just snowballs, which is brilliant. You know what I mean? Yeah. Really good.
Yeah. And then since Dragon's Den, there's been loads of really amazing opportunities as well that came through. A major UK supermarket wanted to stock us, but we ended up not moving forwards with that because we position ourselves as quite a luxury wellness brand, and it just wasn't the right fit for us. And then there's been a variety of different events as well where we've included ear seeds in goodie bags. So we were in the VIP goodie bags at Coachella, which is amazing. And I don't know who would have received them, but I think it would have been some pretty cool people.
Maybe next year you get to go.
Yeah, I would like to.
It would be nice if you're supplying the goodie bags that they would give you a ticket and invite you.
Yeah.
If you can make your own way there, here's a ticket, you and someone else, VIP ticket.
Yeah.
I think that's the bloody least they could do. Don't you?
Yeah.
Look at how much stock you've invested in that. Well, I don't know how many goodie bags were there?
I think there was 1,000.
Wow.
I did get paid for it though.
Oh, right. Oh, that's fair enough then.
Yeah.
But you could say you could pay me in ticket.
That's
be cool, isn't it? That would be really cool. That's really good. Oh, Glastonbury, surely.
Yeah. So I worked at Glastonbury. I did ear seeding there at the pop-up hotel, which is like the super VIP glamping.
Yeah.
It's not normal tents on the floor in the mud. And that was amazing. And I ear seeded Elle-Sera. So that was cool. We did the hangover protocol. And she actually messaged me a few days later and said, I cannot believe it. I've not had a hangover all weekend.
That's amazing. I'm actually so excited to try this. Yeah. I'm going to do a whole video on it. A nice reel of me trying to do it badly, probably. Is it easy to do yourself, or it looks easy because you've got the mirror and the tweezers, I would imagine? Or is it better? I mean, you're the expert. You would probably get it on better than I would.
Well, honestly, 99% of the business is people buy them to apply at home.
Yeah.
I just do like in-person events and brand partnerships and stuff to get the word out there, really. But yeah, they're really easy to apply. It just takes a couple of goes to get to know your ear and the different points where the seeds need to go. It's like anything, really. It just takes a bit of practice. You know, like if you were learning how to do gua sha, you need to watch a few videos to learn what the different movements are. Yeah.
And what's next for you? What's your ambition for the business?
So we have lots of new products launching this year. We used to be called AccuSeeds, and that's the brand name that we went on to Dragon's Den with. So a lot of people will know us as AccuSeeds. But in October last year, we rebranded to East Healing. So it's like exactly the same look and feel. We kept a lot of the logos and the colours and everything. But the reason why we chose that name was so that we can release a wider range of Chinese medicine products. So obviously AcuSeeds, they are an abbreviation of a product called acupressure ear seeds. And it just really pigeonholed us, so we could only ever sell ear seeds with that name. So with East Healing, we've launched an acupressure ring, which is a gold ring that you run up and down the fingers and it activates acupressure points on the hands. It's amazing for focus, people that fidget a lot, people that like to pick their skin and their nails, like anxious habits. They just roll the ring up and down the finger and it really, really calms you down and calms your nervous system. We launched a acupressure comb, which was a game changer in my second birth of my second daughter. And it's literally a wooden comb that you grab onto and it activates a pressure point in the middle of the hand here. But it also uses a theory called gate control theory. And it means that basically your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. So if your brain is focusing on the pain of you grabbing onto the comb there, it's focusing less on the pain happening in this area when you're giving birth. So yeah, that was a massive game changer for me when I had my second daughter. So we launched one of those. This weekend, we're launching another product called magnet patches. So they are basically, they're like bigger ear seeds for other parts of the body. And they're magnets. So again, they work in two ways. They work from a Chinese medicine perspective. They're an acupressure tool that help with the circulation, blood circulation and energy circulation around the body. But then the magnets, so they basically interact with the like electromagnetic field and they help with calming your nervous system, with pain relief as well, help with sleep and stress and relaxation. So we're launching them this weekend. And then we've got it's crazy. We've got about 12 new products launching this year. I just want people to experience these incredible tools that they've used in Chinese medicine for so long in a really easy and accessible way. And it just blows my mind how they've been used in China for so many years, but no one knows about them in the UK, in the Western world. So yeah, I just want to bring all of them. I can't bring all of them to the market like at the same time, but that's the plan for this year. And also to get into some retailers. That was my next question, actually. I was going to say, obviously, you turn down the supermarket, which probably completely agree with isn't right. But what would be like your hero retailer? Selfridges, maybe John Lewis. I think Urban Outfitters could be a really cool one just for like the younger, like millennial market. But then we're also going after a lot of like luxury hotels and spas because there's such a gap in the market for if someone gets a facial in a spa, why then couldn't they get the ear seeds applied at the end? So we do actually have an online course for practitioners to learn how to do it. And then they will be certified in ear seeding. So, yeah. I feel like Soho Farmhouse or Estelle Manor is a no-brainer. You know what I mean? I feel like that's definitely on the horizon. Well, it cannot be announced yet. Yeah. I feel like I can see it already. Yeah. We are launching into a very well-known members club in the next couple of months. And that is a huge milestone. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. And Selfridges, I think I can help you with that. So I've got a contact there. Oh, amazing. Because we were in Selfridges. Nice. And I'm pretty sure they would take it, you know. It's cool, it's trendy, it's on brand for them. Yeah. You could even have a practitioner in store, maybe applying them. Yeah. You know. A psychic actually told me that she saw like a bit of a big yellow bag, like a pop-up in Selfridges. So we have been sold in a pop-up, but she said that in the future it'll be an actual like concession. So there'll be the ear seeding, There'll be the other acupressure products. There'll be the other things that we're launching later in the year, which can't be announced yet, but will also work really well. So yeah.
Busy.
Yeah.
And how do you like manage it being a mum of two?
I honestly don't know. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
And are you based in Sheffield?
Yeah.
Do you find it difficult because you've got to be down in London for a lot of the things that you need to do?
Not really.
I find this very difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I don't go that often. I probably go once a month.
That is quite often.
Well,
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'll limit it to once a month. And if you
Yeah.
can't get me in that time, sorry, it's got to be next month.
yeah.
Because otherwise it's too much. And by the way, fucking expensive.
Oh, wow. Trains are like 150 quid to get there.
Not only that. So the other day I went overnight. So I had to put in childcare because Danny was away. So overnight nanny, all this, nanny for the day after. Then the wind was so bad, I couldn't get a train home. Had to get a driver,
Oh, God.
plus hotel room, plus taxis all around London. All in all, one day, 1,200 quid. And I was like, this is the hidden cost of you just come to London for a meeting.
Yeah.
And you don't understand the investment on my side. Now, fair enough, the wind was a pain in the arse, and you know what I mean? But nightmare.
Yeah. And having,
it's expensive.
yeah, and having children as well, and having to do all of that organisation. People don't realise, like, if someone was to like cancel a meeting at the last minute, it's like, bloody hell, I've got my child into nursery for this amount of time, and I've sorted these lifts and that lifts, and it's my brain is just like non-stop being a mom, trying to run a business, trying to also look after myself. It's crazy, but I'm doing it.
No, I know.
I literally have no other choice.
No, you've got no other choice. I totally hear you. It's stuff like, you know, last minute I was thinking, oh my God, the nanny needs a car seat. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to leave the car seat at nursery. I've got no tea in. There's my bank card. Leave my bank card there. Do you know what I mean? All these things. I'm like, oh, great. You know what I mean? And that's on top of the meeting that I've got to go down and do.
Yeah. Yeah.
On top
it's
of,
all in your head, isn't it?
I know,
It's all in the mother's head as well.
Constantly texting, you know, to make sure that this person's picking her up on time and everything. And Danny's skiing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, great.
And don't let such and such nap at this time because then they won't sleep when they get home, and it's
a lot.
It's right.
Yeah. It's I know. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. I think we've been sold this dream of you can do it all. Well, I don't want to do it all. Maybe I can, but I'm not, you know, I don't want to do it all. It's very, very difficult. Yeah. So you're doing absolutely amazing. You really are. It's and I can't wait to see your journey this year. It sounds exciting already. Yeah. And I'm going to be waiting for that announcement of your exclusive members club and your new products and everything else you've got coming up. Yeah, it looks brilliant. And I'm excited to put my ear seeds on later.
Yeah.
When's the best time to put them on? Like before, they'll be okay if I put them on just before bed or something, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So it really depends what you want to use them for. If you did want to use them to give you more energy, it's best to do it in the morning.
Yeah.
But for the sleep one, amazing before bed. Yeah. My husband's actually such a bad sleeper. And for years, he refused to wear the ear seeds. And he had a really bad few nights sleep. And I said, let me put them on. And I did. And he slept through.
Love that.
So there you go.
I know. He should be the one repping the brand more than anybody. I make Danny go out in like full Elle-Sera caps on and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. And he's happy. And we've got socks that we give out as well, like to like people for like Pilates and stuff and like sponsor events. He wears all them to work, which is funny. But yeah, well, honestly, I'm sure our paths are going to cross again soon. I'm already envisaging big yellow bags around you. and I can't wait to see what you're up to this year. I think you're a great entrepreneur and somebody who's balancing motherhood and a great business and everything else on top. It's great to see. You're a great role model, great inspiration. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much. That's really kind. Thanks.